The Ramble Football Club is proudly sponsored by Glasby Pallets, offering a one-stop solution for all of your pallet needs. Get in touch now on 01709 585 646 to discuss your pallet requirements. And thank you again to Sonny and the team for their continued support of Ramble FC. Left to lose. What is happening, everybody, and welcome back to Ramble FC. I am, of course, Jimmy, and this is Football Therapy. Apologies, you caught me singing the back end of Matilda Shakes there, the brilliant band that we all know and love. In fact, I know he'll probably go mad with me, but he sent me a sample of a new song that they're working on. I am not joking. I thought it was Creed when I first heard it. It was, oh my God. They just get better and better all the time. So this is Ramble FC. This is the channel where we have a wider football discussion than over on the Blades Ramble. If you're not already subscribed to Blades Ramble, please go over there. We're 34 away from 10,000 subs. Incredible numbers. I'm so excited. But thank you to everybody that continues to support us there and here. We're actually broadcasting tonight on Ramble FC on my X page. So there might be a few more than usual that pop in. And I think on Facebook as well. So if the link's not broken this time, which it has been in the past, which will surprise nobody. So tonight we're doing a championship deep dive. We're getting into it about how the championship's gone. There's loads of questions to ask. We think who's punching above their weight, who's the biggest disappointment, who's been the best player so far. There's all sorts of things to ask. And it's a big enough subject to not just have two of us. It's going to be all four of us tonight, and I'm looking forward to this. So let's get them in then. First up, it's the housewife's favourite. It's the view from the mountain.
This is the view from the mountain, with a heart so pure it's astounding. Man, mountain strong and true. What a man, what a view.
Man, what a view. How's it going, Paolo?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, very good. Just got back off my mini break, should we call it, with the fam.
Yes. Did you have a good time?
Stroud. So yeah, been down there and been see some family on the way back as well. So yeah, driving and staying busy, but looking forward to coming on and doing this tonight. So yeah, very good.
Nice one, mate. Good to hear it. Good to hear you're all refreshed and ready to go. Let's get our next co-host in. It's Jord Motson.
Jord Motson, the man on the mic, painting the match with a sound so right. Sheffield's pride, every fan can see. He's the voice of the Blades, their melody.
Jordy boy, our melody. How's it going, pal?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks. Not too bad. How are you guys?
Yes, good, mate. Thank you. Good. I'm ready to talk all things championship, but by the time we've introduced everybody, it's probably going to be time to wrap up. So let's get the next one in. It's our fourth and final co-host of the evening. He's bald. He's brilliant. That's Ali.
Bald and brilliant, that's Ali. Knows the pitch like the back of his knee. No need for hair, he's got strategy. Football genius, yeah. That's Baldy.
Shut the front door.
I've been off the turkey, lads. I've been a turkey.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Giving Andy the Blade vibes. I like it. How's it going, pal? You okay?
Yeah, really good. Thanks. All right, lads.
Yeah.
Very well. You've shot me there. That's good.
I thought that was Kevin Nash then.
Kevin Nash. Know about that. All right, let's get back on track then, lads. So we're here to discuss. I don't even know where to go first on this. We know what we want to talk about, but we've no order to it at all. So, what do you reckon? Do you reckon we look at the league table? Do you reckon we look at the stats overall and then discuss the topics, or do you want to get into the topics first and then have a look at the stats afterwards? What do you think? What do you think we should do?
I'm good with your call, Jim. Your call.
Jesus.
Come on, Jim. You're the boss, supposedly. Come on, get on with it.
Shut up, you housewife's favourite. Let's get the table up then, right? Let's have a look. Let's just have a little look at some of these teams. Obviously, Cov top the league. Look, I mean, we're going to ask questions like who's punching above their weight. Obviously, I don't think anybody expected Coventry to be top of the league at this stage. But they are usually in and about the promotion picture. So I wouldn't say that that's a massive shock that they're top of the league. I think they're playing very well, and probably will do well, possibly go up this year. But I don't think they're necessarily punching above the weight. I think somebody like Stoke, for example, we could put into that category. Charlton Athletic in 6th is incredible. We'll come to that as an isolated question, but just looking at the league in itself, Southampton down in 20th. Obviously, the Blades down in 22nd. So, yeah, Ipswich meandering in 12th. There's a few clubs to talk about. I think everybody expected Wednesday to be propping up the table just because, I mean, it gives us a lot of pleasure as 4 Blades to say that, but just because of the situation at their club that they've been through, it's not a surprise at all. We have got, courtesy of Lee, I have to say, a load of stats that we can throw your way. We're not necessarily a stats channel, nor have we ever been, but it does give you some credence as to what we're talking about. Now, they're very, very small, but I will help you as best I can. Aesthetically, it looks pretty good. So let's go for this. It is goals and assists. I can tell you, Brandon Thomas Asante is top of the list with 12. Big chances created. It's Sorba Thomas with 9. He's at Stoke currently. And I have to say, it was one that I didn't write off, but I wasn't super excited about, but other people were saying he's a really good signing for Stoke, and that's proven to be right. Ryan Giles with the assists, tops the assist charts with 6. Brandon Thomas Asante is FOTMob's highest rated player. I think it's a 7.79 average across the season. Save percentage is Victor Johansson with, I think that's 81.3 or around that number. That's no surprise to anybody, I don't think, that he's been the best performing goalkeeper in the league. Shows that Stoke are susceptible to shots on target against and things like that, but they've obviously got a top goalkeeper between the sticks, so that's something to consider when we're talking about some of these subjects. Goals per 90, Kane Kessler-Hayden comes in with almost a goal every 90 minutes, and XG per 90, so created chances, got into goal-scoring positions per 90. That is Ellis Sims at Cov, which will be no surprise. I'd say it's slowly followed by, but I can't read the name behind Lee. Any ideas on who that is behind?
Jevon McCarmer.
Jevon McCarmer, right. Okay, well, we'll go with that, whoever he is. So, lads, anything that jumps out for you there? Obviously, the top one that I didn't actually go through. This is the salaries, average salaries per team. So Leicester are paying, that is nearly 45 million quid a year on their wages. Southampton paying almost 40 million pound a year on the wages. You'll see Sheffield United are 4th in that table. These stats are all through Capology, which have been, criticised in the past for not being wholly accurate. But I think it's a good gauge as to where teams are. So you look at, when you're gauging how teams are going overall, look at Coventry there, 5th from bottom in terms of wages, and they are romping it in the league. Charlton, bottom of the league by some distance in terms of salaries paid, but up there in 6th place.
I think what stands out there for me is look at the top 5 teams there that are paying out the most wages, and not one of them are in top 6.
Top 5 teams: Leicester, Southampton, Ipswich, Sheffield United, and Norwich. Not only they're not in the top 6, mate, but 2 of them are in the bottom 3.
Yeah, exactly. And then Southampton are like 4th or 5th bottom.
Yeah, it's
this season just shows how wide open the league actually is, because usually teams that have got parachute payments or are spending the most on wages are up in the top 6. And this season, that is not happening.
We can't strictly be neutral, and I'm conscious of that. There'll always be a bias, whether we try to go one way or the other way, really, whether we try and go 2 against Sheffield United or whatever. But if you can try and put yourselves in the shoes of a neutral, are you enjoying the rest of the season outside of the Sheffield United bubble, if you like? You enjoying the fact that it's so unpredictable, so wide open? We'll go you, Jord, because you started us off there, pal.
Yeah, I think obviously don't get me wrong. I'd love us to be higher up table, and I'd be enjoying it even more. But you know, when you do look at that, and you're seeing teams like Charlton, it just reminds me of us when we come up from League One and we get a good goal and we were top by Christmas. They're not spending, they're probably spending at least, aren't they? I think in league, and they've got a manager in charge who's getting like the best out of the players, and it's probably fun for their fans. They've not had probably this much enjoyment for years, especially since they were in Premier League. So, good on them. Eki's getting a tune out of Preston. Even Hull last season was struggling. They're in 8th. QPR. It's it's good to if you're looking at it as a neutral and you're looking at that league table, it's good. It's good to see for me.
I think the highest of the 3 relegated teams being 10th and we're 12 games in is shocking. Shocking, as in like nobody expected that. I think the majority of us will have had at least one of them as our league winners, if not in the top 2, and all 3 of them are below 10th. And Southampton, like you said, Jord, down in 20th, really struggling. And we'll come on to sort of manager changes and who might be in trouble and stuff like that. But Lee, what's your take on the season so far in the Champ?
Hate it. But I'll take me United out of it.
United out off, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it just shows, doesn't it, that there's not much between the sides. I mean, even if you go let's go from 20th to 7th to 6th. You know what I mean? There's 7 points.
Yeah.
It's you get that back in 4 or 5 games. So there's nothing in it. It's just a couple at the top that are just starting to bleed away a little bit. And fair play, but the teams at the top again: Coventry, Middlesbrough, Millwall, Bristol City. They've been in this league for a long time. They know what they're doing in this league, and they've built good squads. So it's not a shock to see them up there. What is the shock is, like you said, is Leicester, Ipswich, and even ourselves to an extent as well, being where we are. That's the issues at the moment. Yeah. But yeah, for the neutral, it's fantastic. For somebody who's in the bottom 3, as a fan of that club, it's not great, is it?
No, that's true. Paul, what's your takes on Championship so far, pal?
Well, it's a bookie's absolute dreamland, isn't it? Because no one can pick an acca out of this lot, other than a couple of things. Obviously, Sheffield Wednesday lost 8 of their games so far out of the 12. We've lost 9, and Norwich have lost 8. So they're a fairly reasonable bet for losses. I don't think Sheffield United can be included in that now under Wilder moving forward. Personally, I'm not
agree.
Biased. Coventry are undefeated, so they've won 8 and drawn 4 and scored 34 goals in 12
They're ridiculous, aren't they? They're ridiculous this season.
Well, that is the stat that usually is the separator between them and promotion and not promotion. I think that they've built on an already very competitive squad. Obviously, made the semis of the playoffs last year. Coventry are the only non-surprise for me in that top 6. I wouldn't have had Middlesbrough in the top 2. You spoke about the next 4: Millwall, Bristol, Stoke, and Charlton. There's not a YouTube pundit out there, mate, that had them 4 in the playoffs.
If they were bottom 4, you could believe it, couldn't you? You could believe that. I'm not saying they're likely to be bottom 4, but if you flip the table and they were the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th from bottom, nobody would be shocked by that. And I just think
there's only Bristol City there that I'd say, obviously I know we beat them in playoffs last season comfortably, but there's only them out of them 4 teams where I'd be like, I wouldn't expect them to be down at bottom, but still for a few seasons now, they've been teetering down at bottom. And the Charlton obviously only just come up with lowest budget, so you'd probably expected them to be down there. And Millwall, they've been hit and miss for
even lower than
they've been up there at playoffs, but then they've had seasons down at bottom.
Preston and Hull, 6th and 7th and 8th. It's crazy. Go on, Paul.
Yeah. What's he saying? Oh, sorry. I was just saying about Millwall. They have these spells in the season, don't they, where they go on these little runs and start to win big groups of games and then tend to just fade off towards the finish. Bristol City, the big surprise, having lost the manager. I think there was a lot of people who pre-season thought that the wheels might fall off a little bit for them after last season, obviously being the big outlier in terms of being in the top 6. but nobody's been in for their better players, and they've got some really, really good players at this level, and have sort of built on that. 6 wins, 4 draws, and 2 defeats. That is massive. That's really solid stuff from them, considering what I think most people thought about their season last year being a little bit of an anomaly for them.
Yeah.
And certainly I thought that they'd lose a few more of their better players this year. But no, they've managed to keep hold of them. And yeah, the manager's obviously come completely the other way, hasn't he? Because he's left for perceptively the bigger club in Norwich, and now they're sat down at the foot of the table. And I think they're the only ones competing with Sheffield United for what we'd have to say would be the disappointment that so far this season.
I'd chuck Southampton in there as well, but we'll cover that, mate. Don't worry. I think that's worth talking about. League One, mate.
Just looking at the table, if you look from 3rd, probably all the way down to 9th, and apart from Bristol City, who play some nice stuff, you'd say they're all workman-like teams.
Yes, you would.
That just get themselves about, high energy, great effort, put the foot in, and sometimes bully through games to get results. And it's working for them this year so far.
Would you say, Lee, that it's more an underperformance? I know there's obviously elements of both, but do you think it's an underperformance from the bigger fish in the league? Or do you think it's just giving managers like Frank Lampard, like Alex Neil, like Rob Edwards, maybe, we need to give them their due in terms of they've Rob Edwards, like you say, these teams have been at the level for some time. Frank Lampard came in last season, got Coventry on a really strong run towards the end of the season. He's not really been fancied at Premier League level. He's taken a lot of ridicule. I think sometimes the advantages that come with being a huge name in football, you then get the opportunities, but then you sort of get dismissed in certain elements. And it's only because he's Frank Lampard. I think he's proving people wrong. Certainly at this level, this might be his level. He might be a top Championship manager. Rob Edwards had a terrible season last year with Luton. Came in this year to Middlesbrough, and he's already, yes, they're a team that's used to the league and acclimatized to Championship football, not a parachute team again. Look, none of these teams are Championship teams, parachute teams, top 9. But he has come in with fresh ideas to that squad. Do you have to give rather than it just being a case of, well, they've had longer to acclimatise to the Championship and they know how hard they have to work game in, game out. I do think there is merit to that. But I also think some of these managers, Mark Robbins at Stoke have been in a mess for years. And look at where they are now. He's always been fancied as a good manager at the level. I think some of it, not that I'm saying none of us do, but I think it needs to be recognised that some of these managers are doing a great job.
I mean, it's you get somebody coming in like a new manager. It's fresh voice, isn't it? New ideas.
Yeah.
And players might need that spark. I mean, we got the opposite when the analysts came in at our club. It went the other way. But for some clubs, as you say there, Stoke, who all right, he went in last season, but now they're on a curve that's going up. Coventry have been going up ever since Frank came in.
Yeah.
Whether he deserved to get the job in the first place is irrelevant now because he's got it and he's doing really well.
Right.
So maybe it's just new ideas and a new voice that really is all they need, because the quality's already in the squads, in most of these squads anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you could say it is a bit of both, because it's it's in terms of, especially like us, Norwich, Southampton, Ipswich, Leicester, not turning up, but I think you've got to give credit as well to other teams who have sort of stepped up and they're taking a chance, and they're seeing that all other teams are struggling, and they've gone, right, this is our chance now, to try and bridge that gap and say, we've got that chance while these are playing rubbish, to get points in front of them, that when we have a blip, they can only try and catch us up and go again. And, if you get to that dreamland, anything can happen. Look at Sunderland, we lost by a goal to them, and they're absolutely flying. They've took the chance. They've signed some great players. They've had a good
sliding doors, isn't it? Sliding doors moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So and I think to these teams who are up at top this season, it's I take me off to the managers and to the players for taking the chance.
Well said, mate. Right, let's get to some comments before we tackle our first subject of the night. Dave Morwood starts off. Thank you, Dave Morwood, who's just sent a huge super chat in as well privately. So thank you, mate. Glad to see you all, especially the man on the mic, Jord. Here for your pal. Up all the rambles, up the blades, up the positive blades, and subscribe, please. Thank you, mate. Yeah, thanks, if you want to subscribe over here on Ramble FC, that'd be great. But yeah, thoughts have been with you, Jord. Jamie Dumpling says, evening, guys. So ready for football to be back. Bring it on. We are going to be joined by Jamie Dumpling very shortly. He will be representing the Platinum Ramblers when we do our predictions later on. I've sent him the link, lads. Don't worry about it. I'm all over it. Holly says, evening, lads. Reckon the biggest surprise for outperforming is Charlton and Millwall, but they always do well. Millwall, he means. Surprised that Norwich been in the top 6 for wages. Yeah, me too. Martin says, evening, gents. Hope you're all well. Yes, we're doing well, mate. Thank you. Holly says, Blades are on. We've played most of the top 10. That's super positive. I love that, Rich, but they are the teams that we've just talked about, not historically being top 10 teams. So we've still got to play Ipswich, Southampton again, and all the, what we would perceive to be quite difficult games, Leicester twice, and all these sort of things. So it's one of them, isn't it? We've put ourselves in this position, and we can cover that as well. Do you think Coventry and Borough will be the Leeds and Burnley this year, says Martin? Any thoughts on that, lads?
I think they've still got a dip they will have a dip at every team has a dip, no matter how flying they are. At Coventry, it's hard to turn around and say that they won't be up there come end of the season when we're, looking at they're scoring for fun and they're not conceding that many either. Yeah. So yeah, possibly so. Do I think this season teams will get to 100 points? No, I think it's too close in this division. That is probably it doesn't happen much, does it? And I don't think it'll happen this season. But I fully expect Coventry to still be up there. Middlesbrough, I'm unsure of.
I completely agree with that, mate. To be honest.
The thing that I notice about the top 6, if you look at the statistics and the goals, now I know that it's winning 1-0 is the same as winning 5-0, but if you look, the thing for me that tells me about longevity in this situation is if you look at Cov, 34 goals scored, 9 conceded. That is a side that is dominating.
It's incredible, isn't it?
The players that the teams that they're against, undefeated so far. They'll be brimming with confidence. I think they're going to be the ones that run away. Do I think Borough the same? No, I don't. 16-4-8 against doesn't tell the whole story, obviously, because they've still acquired 25 points. They've done really, really well. Bit more hard to beat, but you can see them dropping more points throughout the season. I think they'll be in and around the playoff picture. If you look down from there, though, there's a little bit of a telltale in this. 14 for Millwall, 4, 13 against. That means that they're edging a lot of their games by the odd goal, by the look of it. Bristol 8 and 11. That's a bit more dominant. I think Bristol will, but I also think Bristol will be in the playoff picture as well at the end. I think that they look like a side who've stepped forward from last season. Even after a great season last year, they look like a really good side this year. Stoke 13 and 8, grinding results. Charlton 14 and 10. The surprise package, really. I think a lot of teams will be looking at Charlton and sussing out where their dangers are, because a lot of us on the internet, we all thought they were going to come up and really struggle.
That's right, yeah.
I think they've done some decent recruitment and they look like players who are going to be good players at the level. So I think they're the ones that are going to get sussed out a little bit more as the season goes along. I think when the threats become a bit more obvious to managers and other teams as well. But I think it's that for me is a little bit of the thing. I think if Coventry continue the form they're on, they're going to get promoted. I think Bristol will still be there, and I think Borough will be in and around the playoffs. But I could see Millwall, like they usually do, and I think they've been in this position before, Millwall, where they've been really hard to beat. They've been in and around the action, and then they just have a little drop off because invariably they don't have all the quality. Losing Tanganga is a big thing for them as well, and a big plus for us as well. So I think
don't look like it looking at the table, but yeah, you're right.
I know, and I'm not. If Millwall, Stoke, and Charlton fans, I mean, and there's nothing I can take away from them. Like you said about the management, they're doing an amazing job. They are doing an amazing job, but I just feel like they're the ones that will get hunted down by some of the bigger fish as the season goes along a little bit. But the other three will be there, and I think Cov will win the league. If they can, obviously, that's not a big bold statement, but yeah, it's a bookie's nightmare. I mean, a bookie's dreamland. Sorry, it's a nightmare for if you like a little bet, obviously. And I think William Hill's probably put another story on his house since this all started. So it's I think it's going rather well for somebody.
It was his 6-story house.
Yeah, right. Even Bet Victor.
Yeah, him and William and Victor aren't doing bad. Are the points deductions for Leicester and Wendy's part of your topics, boys? Not specifically, but obviously we can cover that, Brian. No problem at all. Tim says, Man Mountain, could you please sort your hood out? Playing L with my OCD. That's better. You obviously spotted that early doors. Nice one. Paul says, anyone heard anything about Hamer and Davis' fitness? Up the Blades, up the Ramble? No, don't expect either of them personally to be fit, but we'll find out more tomorrow in the presser. Shout out, we'll be over on Blades Ramble covering that tomorrow live.
Just a shout on Hamer. Chopsy's diaries, Chopsy who followed United, young girl. She got invited to United's training ground, and there's I think pictures with Hamer still on, and he's still in a knee brace. So I think that tells you everything you need to know about Gus.
Aye, we are where we are because of what the owners did at the start of the season. That's why we are where we are. I don't disagree, Paul, to be honest, but we are in that situation, aren't we? Lewis says, evening, gents. Can't see past Cov for the first position. And even though Borough are a bit meh for me, I don't think they'll be a troublesome rival. West Brom, Ipswich could make a late run at some point. If Southampton make a managerial change, I wouldn't write them off. I think the Blades will come good over the course, but too late to trouble the top six. Cov, Borough and Ipswich for promotion. Agree with Man Mountain. Bristol City will be in there this year. I think it says more about the middle clutch of teams, though. Ordinary. Shame we've had such an awful start. It was there to be had. I agree. He thinks also Blackburn, Oxford and Piggies to go down. Up the Ramble, up the 5 positive Blades. Like and subscribe to Ramble FC. Thank you, mate. Sheila says, Borough, a bang. I agree with this. A bang average. Seeing them. No, bang average is harsh. But in terms of, I don't think they are a dominant second in the table side. Paul's alluded to that a little bit as well with the numbers he reeled off. I think you can probably make a case for somebody. I think second spot is probably wide open. You'll do well to catch Coventry. Whoever finishes above Coventry gets automatically promoted, I think.
One thing I will counteract that, though, is how many teams did we see last season say about United being a bang average side and we were winning games 1-0? And that might be Borough this season. They might continue.
Possibly, mate. Yeah, that's
bang average. But yet they win games 1-0 and they get 3 points.
Bang average is a harsh way of saying it. I think they haven't been as impressive as you'd expect for the position that they're in, but the results have spoken for themselves on this. So I think that's probably a better way of putting it.
Jordan, it wasn't only other teams saying we were bang average. We were saying we were bang average as well. When we were.
A lot of Blades were saying it.
You know what I mean? So, I wasn't. A win's a win, isn't it? And we'd take it now.
Certainly would. Absolutely. So, first big question of the night we're asking. Who's punching above their weight this season in the Championship? We've touched on these very briefly as we've done a quick scan. So, but we can go into it in a bit more detail. I think I don't want to steal anybody's. In fact, Lee, you go first. I don't want to steal anybody's thunder, and I know yours. So, I'm going to.
It's already been pulled up, hasn't it? It's Charlton. It's got to be Charlton. Lowest wages, 6th on 19 points. They've got 10 points at home, 9 points away, so they're quite balanced. Hard to beat, workmanlike, but really well. 13 transfers in the summer, and a lot of them are experienced players for this division. Sonny Carey, James Bree, Amari Bell, Reece Burke, Rankin Costello, Kaminsky, the goalie.
Yeah.
These are good signings for a team coming up. So they've done the work, and for me, it's got to be Charlton.
I completely agree, and I know Paul rightly touched on it, saying nobody would have had them as high as nobody would. Not a chance. I think we have acknowledged on shows that we've done together, Paul, as well, that Charlton have bought well, and it's not. I don't think anybody expects them to be the whipping boys of the division, even though that's quite a lazy rhetoric. I think it was easy to say that blind in the summer before a lot of transfers happened when you knew they were coming up with Birmingham and Wrexham, because people thought automatically Birmingham and Wrexham will be nowhere near in that relegation scrap. So Charlton get automatically assumed to be in it. And they're not an easy set. We found that. Chris Wilder returned. There was no team with more momentum than Sheffield United in terms of everywhere but the pitch. Everything was willing United to win that game, and Charlton just came and did a job on us. They shut up shop, 2 banks of 4. We could not break them down, and fair play. I think they've done really well. Go on, Paul.
I think it's a bit of a mirror of what's happened in the Premier League with Sunderland obviously being what we call the surprise team of going up, the similar to Charlton in this instance with Wrexham and Birmingham, with Leeds and Burnley. So I think it's kind of It's mirrors that, but the one thing that you just alluded to, Jim, is the business. It was the business that was done that was so strong, and I think that's where Coventry have stepped on a level with their business. I think that certainly Charlton have done some outstanding business for a side that have been promoted to this division, the same way Sunderland have done some amazing business. And I think before those transfers kick in, Charlton are favourites for the bottom three with most bookies, pundits, anyone you care to talk to. But they, like you say, they've done some really good stuff, and for absolutely mon chapeau to Charlton Athletic, because when I remember watching Charlton years ago come to Bramall Lane when they were the best team in the championship and absolutely untouchable as well, and went to the Premier League with Kirbishley and did an amazing job. So a team with a lot of history.
Clive Mendonca
of Grimsby and Charlton Athletic fame, and former Sheffield United reject, by the way, a striker that we turned away. So yeah, but yeah, and also you'd have to say hats off to Paul Heckingbottom, who I think is really proving to be an excellent manager at this level.
Yes, agree.
We kind of, me and you had a similar opinion about him with the Blades, where we thought he had the players to recover that season that he did do. From
still got to do it though, aren't you? Still got to make them tick.
Mate,
it's one thing having the resources at your disposal. Ruben Sayers had that as well.
Another manager whose side, for a lot of people before a ball's kicked, is saying they're down for the fight at the bottom, and they won't be under him. And obviously all the big hitters with the big monies, Leicester, Ipswich, Southampton, and Sheffield United, the big four, they've got a lot to learn really from some of these established Championship managers who are showing them how it's done a little bit at the minute. Again, we'll keep our fingers crossed that Wilder can rediscover the mojo he's had always at Sheffield United, but you know they've got to pull their finger out, because there'll be some heads roll before Christmas if some things don't change at some of these clubs.
Yeah, agreed, mate. And I think it's a good point you make as well. I know Lee's quite right. I would go for Charlton. I don't think it's quite a slam dunk as much as some may think, because I think you're right. Preston are in that conversation. Stoke, I think, are in the conversation. Millwall in third are in that conversation.
Hull are definitely in that conversation.
Jord,
Ruben Sayers only just kept him up last season.
Yeah,
only just kept him up last season. And then you look at transfers that they've signed, and they've gone for experience. You know, they've got Brandon Williams in, who were a free agent. I know he's had his troubles, but you know, free agent from Man U, Joe Geldor, Oliver McBurney, John Lundstrom, Firmino that come from Wednesday. You got Semi Ajayi. They're all players that are experienced at this level, and they've given it a good shot for this season.
You started it, Jord. You've started the Unitedites on McBurney. You mentioned the name first, mate, so I'll let you do that.
But let's
watch these comments light up now. With
but he's a free agent. He's a free agent from Las Palmas. He's scored 6 goals and got 3 assists. We'd be crying out for a striker like that right now. So
okay. Here's a question, lads, and this is a Blades question, and we'll move on to the next subject after you've answered me this. Only a very brief one, please. Would you take McBurney back in January? Say we have to pay £3 million.
I wouldn't pay it. No,
you wouldn't pay it.
No, I'd love him back, but I just think it's out of principle that we could have got him on a free. And
I know we could
didn't do enough to get him here, and then we're going to pay $3 million for him.
That's just a figure I've plucked out of the air. But would you pay it if so? George's saying no.
We've already paid $20 million for him, and then you're going to pay another. We let him go on a free, and then you're going to pay $3 million to get him back.
Well, I'm pleading the fifth on this one. But Lee, would you pay £3 million to get him back?
McBurney, yeah,
you would.
Definitely, I think is exactly what we needed and still need. Sorry, Andy the Blade.
He won't be watching. He's on rodeo somewhere.
Oh,
catch up later.
The only thing I would say is if he's going to play one up top, then no, because he can't do that. No.
What's he playing for Hull?
Don't care. We don't cross the ball.
He's playing one up top for Hull.
We haven't got anyone who crosses the ball.
I know we don't. So that's maybe on the system, isn't it? That's maybe on doing what we do better.
They play towards his strengths, and that's crossing the ball into the box. That's how they score.
So why don't look at where they are in the league because of that? Without his goal, they are in Birmingham Wrexham territory, easy if not lower.
Is that Michael Bolton? Who's
I don't know.
What was that? Was that your phone, Lee?
That's Lee.
What's the ringtone?
Mate, there's better be breaking
from
news.
Start of Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer. Nice.
You've got it.
Nice. What a tune that is, by the way. Anyway,
Michael Bolton. Jim Wolfe.
It's a Sledgehammer, isn't it?
Tell me, how am I supposed to live without you?
Without boldly.
Yeah.
So, common consensus then. I think the majority are going for Charlton. George chucked one in for Hull.
I'd have gone for Charlton, by the way, but I just thought I'd throw a different one in.
Honourable mention for Preston as well from Port. Yeah, fair play, Jord. I think we'll probably settle as a team on Charlton, but with acknowledging that other teams have also done very well this season. I think that's a fair shout.
Yep.
Any other comments that people want to chuck in there? Let's have a look. Bryce says, depending on the points deductions, I think Leicester could be in danger of the drop. Well, we'll come to that soon. Even the 4 bearded blades says, big. I'm in Triple Point this Saturday. Looking forward to meeting you all. Up the blades, up the ramble, like and subscribe. You won't be meeting Jord because Jord is in sunnier climes than Sheffield. Where are you going, Jord? You off away this?
I'm going to Ventura.
Oh, mate. Oh, we go there next year, actually. Sam's just booked. So
nice.
You have to let us know. I don't know if people actually say that. But
it's not anyway, because you're going.
Yeah, I know. Are you going to do a similar show after 23 games? So Sheila wants one bang on the halfway mark. Yeah, I think that's probably a good shout. I think it was Lee's suggestion to do this and got us all quite excited as soon as it was suggested. So Bryce says it's another reason to feel annoyed at Sayers, Jord, being McBurney. Yeah, absolutely. So Jord,
I'd have took him, but I just think it was principle why I was saying
you're not paying him out of principle, paying for him now out of principle.
Yeah.
So you are, I think my dad will be on the same lines, to be honest. Lee is paying it. Did you actually answer the question, Paul? Would you pay for McBurney? Oh, you said no, didn't you? Because he doesn't fit our system. Well, he can't play one up top apart from scoring a bag full for Hull being one up top.
Yeah, well, whatever. If we were playing 2 up top, then I would take him.
We can't play a 1 up top. He can't play as 1. No way.
Well, he's not dislodging. For all his good form, I don't think he dislodges. And he's bound to get injured next week or the week after. So we do have to remember, I think we were pretty split as a fan base, certainly on even signing him on a free at the start.
It's very much in hindsight, isn't it, now that we're all looking back and saying, why did
it's lovely jubbly.
Yeah, exactly.
He could get crocked tomorrow and he could go another 10 games without scoring. We know what he brings to the table. We know he's
same with Kiefer Moore, mate. Same with Kiefer Moore. He's gone to Wrexham and done a really good job. A lot of us were really happy with that deal. I still am happy with the deal. £2 million for a player that was a 3rd choice striker. I'd love to have him as an option in our squad, but as a business decision, it were a really smart deal by the club, in my opinion. Okay.
30 grand a week as well.
30 grand a week, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes no sense for us to keep him in that context.
We didn't see the best of him, did we?
No, we didn't.
No, definitely not.
Who's the biggest disappointment this season then? Which team has been the biggest disappointment so far this year? And let's start off with the elephant in the room. These boys here. Sheffield United, the ones behind Paul's head, the ones behind my head, the ones in all our hearts. Sheffield United have been, for me, the biggest disappointment this season. Look, the 3 relegated teams will have a fair stick to check at this. But Southampton have got to be fuming, coming down with some of the talent that they've got in that squad. I think 9 points at this stage, it were inconceivable at the start of the season that we would start so poorly. And obviously the Sayers appointment has killed us. Has it killed us for the season? Yeah, probably. It probably has. I just think nobody expected it. I think Sheffield United are the ones that everybody's saying, whoa. There were even some talk before Wilder got those 2 wins on the spin. Could Sheffield United be in trouble of going down this year? And I think if we hadn't made the change and brought him back, I think, we could well be in big trouble this year. I think we'll pull away from it now, but I don't think we'll be anywhere near enough to mount a challenge, unfortunately. Pains me to say it, but I think Sheffield United have got to be up there as the biggest disappointment this season. And I don't just mean on a personal note. Paul, we'll go to you, mate, next.
Yeah, I think you're obviously a team that is. Well, I think we're third favourites for the division at the start, before a ball's kicked. So, being third bottom is obviously very, very disappointing. Norwich are obviously in with a shout with that as well, and because they're below us now, they've only got 8 points, 2 wins, 2 draws. And Southampton as well with 2 wins and 6 draws. Southampton have got to be real careful, because I remember the season in the Premier League with Sheffield United, I think we only lost about 6 games all season and got relegated. Draws are no good, and they can't do out but at the minute. So they've got to be really, really careful about how long that draw trend goes on for them, I suppose. But like you say, but when it's all said and done, usually the correlation, there is always the outlier. There's always the Luton. There's always the team that who can get in there. Bristol City even now and last season as well. Yeah. God knows how they're getting away with not paying the players and making them competitive, because they've got, again, I think they're doing a great job. But Sheffield United being the third biggest wage, fourth biggest wage bill, whatever it is, being where they are is not good enough. I think Norwich will bullet the manager there before long. They've got way too good a squad. Well, spending way too much money on wages and too much there to say how far backwards they've actually gone this season. So I think that the manager's on borrowed time for me. And I think that Sheffield United, with the management change, like Jim's just said, are going to change things. I think they will be pulling the way up to mid-table by the time Christmas rolls around. And then again, I'm not dismissing it. Charlton on 19 points currently in 6th. That's just 10 points. That is a good month and 10 points can be.
Why there's a lot of traffic though, Paul? A lot of traffic. And why would you tease yourself into thinking that at the minute? Why not just enjoy picking up the odd win here and there, and then we'll have another look at it in 8 and 9 games time and see where we are.
I'm the one that said, Jim. I'm the one that said you need markers in the season, and I did say where we are after 20 games and Christmas will determine what happens in January. Will determine whether we're on the charge.
You did.
And I think that, based on what we're seeing, we are gonna be moving forward more positively than obviously we have been before. And then you just don't know, because I don't see. Like again, those 4 teams in the playoffs certainly will not be the 4 teams at the finish line, and there's nobody really for me going where the team stepping forward this year. Do I think Bristol and Middlesbrough will still be around it? Yes, I do. Do I think Coventry might be the ones that run away? Yes, I do. But after that, if we win the next game, we'll be on the same points as Southampton. So it's very, very. Still very close. And when you have 7 or 8 games in a month, Jim, that can be a big swing. If you get 5 wins, it can be a big swing. And I still think we've got that ability in the squad, mate. If teams looking at us, anything could happen with Sheffield United at the minute. They could lose to a side down the bottom, or we could go and beat a side at the top, based on the idea we've got the talent in the squad to do that. And it's probably the same with Southampton, Ipswich, and Leicester as well. They've got the talent in the squad on any given day to go and beat anybody, and that's why this is going to be really interesting.
That's another factor that I hadn't considered really, so much as the league being so compact. That a good swing of results can see you rocket up the league, I suppose, and also by the same token, a poor run of results could see you tumbling. So yeah, that's fair. So who are you plumping for? I've gone for Sheffield United. Paul, who are you saying, mate, as your overall disappointment of the season?
Well, yeah, I'm Sheffield United.
Jordy boy, what are you saying, pal?
I can't pick anyone. I know I'm trying to not be biased on this channel and not really talk United much, but I find it hard to not say us. I think playoff final last season.
I think as a neutral, most people would say us as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Between us and Southampton, I think it's got to be between.
Yeah, that'd be my 2 teams that I'd have picked. Like I said, us narrowly missing out on promotion, and it could have been a different story. And then, to think we had the tools to be able to further that, narrowly missing out by 2 incredible teams in Leeds and Burnley last season. In any other season, we would have probably gone up in first or second. So to be sat in 22nd on 9 points, it has to be us for me.
Yeah, Lee.
100%, it's got to be us. And I agree with everything that Paul's just said. With the squad and the ability we've got, the start to this season's just been horrendous. And as was said earlier, it lies directly at the board. One of the guys who commented in, it lies at the board and also the horrendous coaching and management that was put in place, by them, and the guy wasn't up to it. And we still are having setbacks from it because when we concede, we look fragile. So, will we get out of it? I'm sure we will. Could Southampton get out of it? I'm sure they probably could and will as well. But with where we were, what we've got, and where we are now, we are the biggest disappointments by far.
On the form though, on the form as well, we've had 9 points from 6 games, which isn't amazing, but it's decent. And if we replicate that again, I think we'll all be like, well, that's all right.
And also, I'd add to that as well. If we'd have beaten Preston at the weekend, last Friday, which obviously we didn't, I think they were the better team overall, and you have to give them credit for it. But if we'd have beaten Preston, I think we'd have all said Southampton for this, because we're then on the upward trajectory and we're on level points with them who came down from the Premier League last season. So I think those are the fine margins between some of the stuff that it's only 12 games in. There's not a huge data set to go on, I suppose. But it's not a huge sample size. But
we'll be feeling a lot better than Norwich fans at this point, because I think there's light in our tunnel.
Yeah, there is.
There's some light there.
We've played our trump card, haven't we? We've sacked our manager. Norwich haven't. Southampton haven't. There's other teams down there that might look at it. Blackburn might be getting a bit twitchy. So there's with Ishmael. So yeah.
1 point from 6 games for Norwich, and then they've lost the last 5 on the bounce.
Well, you know what's going to happen, don't you? They're going to sack the manager before they play Sheffield United, because that is destined.
So I'm surprised he's not gone off that last game.
I know. Well,
I thought they were in trouble before that, and then they lost again. And I'm really surprised that they've given him another week as it stands. It's I definitely, if they do lose at weekend, he's 100% gone. Yeah,
I think so too. Okay, moving on to the next one then. Who has been the best player so far this season in the Championship? And I'll be fair to you, I'm going to bring up this stat again. So the FotMob rating has Brandon Thomas Asante as leading the pack for the best player in the league. Femi Aziz, who surprisingly is second in the league. I don't think he's all that in a bag of cheese. Imran Loser, I'm not surprised at all. We're all huge fans of him on the channel. Todd Cantwell surprises me a little bit. I know he's a good player for Blackburn, but look at where they are. And I think that's probably a small sample size from Todd Cantwell, because he wasn't available for our game. I'm not sure how available he's been. So those are the ratings. In terms of the goals and assists, Thomas Asante tops that. The big chances created, Sorba Thomas tops that. Ryan Giles has got the most assists for Ollie McBurney, who plays up front on his own for Hull. And the save percentage is for Victor Johansson. So I think they're probably all in the reckoning for best player in the league. I had to go really close to the screen, as you probably quite saw there, just to be able to read that. But what are we saying, lads? I'll go to you, Jord, first, in terms of who you think you give most credit to this season so far. And with context, we don't watch loads of other sides, so I'm not expecting a huge knowledgeable answer from any of the lads here. Obviously, we've got the information in front of us, and we've got the small bits that we've seen of these players across the season so far. So don't worry, Jord. I don't want you to give me a full breakdown of why Thomas Asante's getting the award over somebody else or whatever. So what are you saying, mate, for what you've seen so far?
Obviously, everyone's probably going to go for Thomas Asante. So I tried to dig, before we come on, just a little bit deeper and have a look. And there were one that sort of did stand out for me a little bit, and it was probably more preference this, because I thought he had a great game against us, and he's quite tricky, he's quick, he's good with ball at his feet, and he sort of plays as a attacking midfielder / winger. And it's Anis Mehmeti at Bristol City. He scored 5 goals and got 3 assists, and I really like the look of him. And he scored against Southampton, I think it was midweek or at weekend, and it was ball at the top, and he got in, and he's not even on the FotMob rating list.
No, but he's fourth on the goals and assists.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So for me, I think I quite like him, and I'd love him down at Bramall Lane.
He's a player that we spoke about previously. I've never shouted from rooftops about him, so I'm not claiming to be one of those that. But I know Paul's mentioned him. I think Lee's spoken about him previously as well. I don't know whether you have yourself, Jord, but People on the channel have mentioned his name. I think Jamie Dumplings mentioned him as well, to be honest. So
Me and Lee like a pint of Metti, don't we, mate? We like that.
Mate, yes, we do. Definitely. He's a great athlete as well, which is massive in the modern game, as well as being a good technical footballer.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Great shout, that, Jord, by the way. Lee, we'll come to you next, mate.
Thomas Asante, goals win games, games get you points, points get you promoted. It's easy. I watched when he was at Salford. He was in that class of '92.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And he had a fantastic attitude and desire, to learn and improve, and got his chance. And he started at MK Dons, went to Ebbsfleet, Salford, West Brom, Coventry, and he got 26 and 13 assists in League Two in 108 games, and 31 and 8 assists in 120 in the Champ. So he's consistent. He's a consistent performer. We should have had a look at him, 2 or 3 years ago when he went to West Brom.
Well, Lee, he left Salford for West Brom, and I think it were about £1 million quid.
It weren't a lot of money.
345 grand.
Were it? Well, it's an even better deal then, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I obviously, like I said, my dad's a West Brom and my brother's West Brom as well. So I watched him there, and when he was one thing or the other. I think he's bringing a little bit more consistency into his game. He wasn't an out and out goal scorer. He was a scorer of outstanding goals, but he was either brilliant or he was a load of rubbish. And he'd often get pulled, like substituted and stuff like that, because he was just not bringing enough to the table. And I think when you've got players of that ability, when they grow up a little bit, and if they can keep the physicality that he had at the time, which is an outstanding thing that he does have. He's a very he's got what I would say is somebody who, if he continues as he is, he could be a Premier League footballer because of his the pace that he has. We talk about Barry not having the pace required. He's got power. He's a powerful player. And like you say, with a good attitude to boot, I'm not surprised that he's improving. So yeah, he's definitely from a numbers point of view, you've got to say that he's one of the outstanding players. I'd love to hear what Coventry's fans have to say, because I think they've got some individuals within that team that are stepping on that we don't always see through a Sunday morning highlights package. That I'd love to hear from them, and I'm looking forward to going to the game and watching some of their players next week, and we're seeing how they get on, because they'll obviously they might probably say 3 or 4 names that we're not really too au fait with in terms of what they've done this year, but they're obviously doing something right down at Coventry.
So Thomas Asante gets your vote then, pal?
I think it has to at the minute. If you add it up, mate. He carries on as he is. That'll be 36 goals, 12 assists.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I think
I think he'll do that? No, but I think it's obvious. It's an obvious step forward for him as a player.
I think for me, honourable mention has to go to Victor Johansson. The highest save percentage in the league. He'll be a huge reason why Stoke are where they are. They're clearly not. He's an outstanding goalkeeper at this level. I still believe Michael Cooper is, but I think this season shows how difficult it is to show consistency, even in a position like goalkeeper. No matter how good you are, there are frailties in your game, and Johansson has always been consistently very good at this level. And there's arguments to say he's getting even better. So, he went to Stoke for the cash because he could have got a better move, probably for less money, higher up in the league at that time. But he's dropped on because Mark Robbins has come in. And he will see him well. I'm not saying they'll get promoted, but they'll do well under Mark Robbins. I think he deserves an honourable mention, but looking at the numbers, and again, we're not a huge numbers channel, are we? But Thomas Asante has to take it. Goals and assists win you the games, like Lee says, and I think that's about right. Let's just jump into some comments before we jump on to the next topic. Lee had Michael Bolton hair at the start, says Dave Morwood. Yeah, he certainly did. I could hardly believe it when I heard you today. Yes, yes. That'll be us at Christmas on karaoke. Paul, Sheila's Wheels says, spot on again, Paul, regarding places 3 to 6. She don't think they'll last the pace either. And I think maybe Bristol City, you thought might hold on in and around, but they've not really got the legs, in your opinion, and respectfully saying that as well, because they've done really well. Paul says, we need the best ever transfer window in January that United have ever had if the owners back Wilder, up the Blades, up the Ramble. Hear it on good authority that they really want to back him in the window, but there'll have to be a sniff of us getting something out of the season if that's the case. We have to be strongly in mid-table and within touching distance of the playoffs for him to. It wouldn't make any sense for him to go hell for leather if not. So we'll see.
Not when we're not going to have any parachute payments next year. There's got to be a plan for, you know, if we don't get promoted or anything like that as well. They're going to have to be careful, aren't they? So they are.
Jamie Dumpley says on Cantwell being high on the ratings, despite Blackburn's position, Sammy Smodick's got top goal scorer in the league, and Blackburn barely stayed up, coming 21st, I think, on the last day. Said, Jamie Dumpling. Very good point, and that's correct. Sheila's Wheel says Lee used the word athlete. Where are our athletes? Where are you? Definitely have a few short on pace, especially at the back. Yeah, I agree. Ours are now senior athletes, Sheila says, Bri, and I think that's a fair point too. We are time is running away from us a little bit, gentlemen, but I'm enjoying our conversation. But we will crack on. Tricky one. This it's going to have to be fairly quick fire. Look at Paul doing his homework already, and make sure I get all the stats in. Make sure I get all the information. Who's in your top 6 and bottom 3? Who's going to be the ones that actually do it? This very, very early shout. Obviously, me and Paul did a really fun league prediction video, which we've not done on the channel before over on Blades Ramble. And we'll probably do it again next season because I really enjoyed us doing that, mate. But who do we think at this very early stage, if you were doing a league table now, who's the top 6 and who is the bottom 3? Lee, after you, mate.
Coventry, Borough.
Go on.
Bristol City, Ipswich, West Brom, and either Leicester or Millwall, depending on the points.
Okay.
Deduction. And I think Ipswich win playoffs. I think Coventry and Borough go straight up.
We'll do that then. We'll do playoffs first. Paul, now you've written all your notes down.
Well, Lee's nicked half my ideas here, hasn't he? So, I think Coventry will win the league. And after that, there'll be 5 teams in and around it. I agree. Borough and Bristol will be 2 of those 5. I think Ipswich will be in there as well. I think they'll come good towards the latter part of the season. I think Millwall will get there this year potentially.
Do you?
I don't think they. I think that they're after last season they're stepping forward a little bit more, and then I think Sheffield United will get in there. They'll sneak into the playoffs at the last minute.
I love that.
Are you trying to sign up for 5 PB? Yeah,
I love that.
Mate, if you ask Jim, I've always been part of that little crowd, despite although not
acknowledging you.
Yeah, exactly. I've always been quite positive. I think we'll creep in. I honestly do. I know it sounds ridiculous. I can get shut down by any neutral.
I love it. I love it, mate.
I think we're going to get in there, mate. I think we're going to sneak in.
You've just been clipped up by thousands of people on YouTube.
No, that's what we want. We want
2 teams that I definitely don't think will be in there because all the noise seems to be. I can't hear them anymore. They're like
Wrexham. Where are you, Wrexham?
But Birmingham. They can't be beaten. Birmingham. They're the ones. Birmingham.
What's the transfer window?
Ask Cal Fowler about Birmingham. Yeah, well, we can slide them into the mid-table mediocrity already.
Yeah, I'm all about that. Jord, top 6, mate.
Yeah, it's not really much different to Leeds, and I think Coventry top 6 teams for me: Coventry, Middlesbrough, Bristol City, probably Ipswich, Millwall. There's one more to go. Let's throw in an obscure one in Swansea City.
Bloody hell. That is
just for something different, because obviously we're all going to pick very similar teams, I think.
Yeah, it is similar. I've got Cov winning league. I don't know who comes second, in all honesty, but in any order, I think it's going to be Borough and Millwall. I think they'll both get in. I think Ipswich get in. I think Leicester get done by points deduction. And Southampton, possibly.
If they sack the manager.
Yeah. And that's a question.
Were we all thinking then playoff winners? Are we all sort of in agreement that we think it'll be Ipswich?
Southampton? I'm sorry, hang on. Southampton.
Yeah.
You're going for Southampton.
Yeah. After 6 games, would you have gone for Sheffield United?
After 12, you're going for Southampton.
After 6 games, would you have gone for Sheffield United? 6 games.
We
6
could bounce back with that one, Paul, and say you're going for Sheffield United, or actually lower than Southampton at the moment.
What I'm saying is, Paul, I think they'll change the manager, and I think the quality in that squad is unbelievable for the level.
Okay.
So that's
whatever you say, boss. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Get your glasses on you. Right. Anyway, bottom 3. Jord, who's your bottom 3, mate?
Yeah, you already know. Do we even need to mention that?
No,
team?
no. We all know 24th place team.
Yeah. So yeah,
Stay away, boys.
Mind the gap.
Yeah.
Blackburn and Oxford, I think I'll go down with them.
Well, I agree. I think those are my 2 as well. So that's my 3 as well. So well played, Jord. Fair dues. Paul.
What?
Bottom 3, mate.
You've thrown him off, Jim.
I
You've
know.
thrown him off by mentioning Southampton. He's gone.
I know he's gone. Ed's gone.
Yeah, as well, obviously the Pigs are going. And after that, I think Oxford will be in there. The last one's tricky. I think Norwich will get out of it because they'll make a change and they'll get out of it. I can still see Portsmouth struggling.
Can you?
Yeah.
I think it's Blackburn.
I think Blackburn have got. I think they've got. They might chuck some wedge at it. Maybe
last season they weren't good.
I think they are very, very in Wednesday's similar position. You know, they've been calling for their chairman or owners out for a fair bit. They've been poorly run for a few years now, and it's starting to show. You know, with less money that's getting spent on team and on wages as well. And you know, you're looking at their attendance. I know we're going on to this attendance thing, but their attendances are dwindling as well because the fans aren't happy. You know, with what they're seeing on pitch. And they used to be a great club, didn't they? They won Premier League.
Yeah.
And you look at how poorly run they are now, and I just think that they're on that downward trajectory. And I think this season will be the season that they go down.
Interesting, Lee. What are your thoughts on it, mate?
Yeah, surprisingly, I'm the same as Paul. The team in 24th, Oxford and Portsmouth. I just think they'll get caught up and just get dragged down.
I worry a little bit about Swansea, you know. I know Jord's got him making a late push just as a random shout, but I'm not convinced by them at the level at the moment. So we'll see. We'll see how they get on. But yeah, some decent shouts there. Right, next subject is 2 more to go. This is the penultimate one. Who's the dark horse this year? So we've talked about who's punching above their weight. I think we can probably look more at this one. The punching above their weight is who's there currently, who is doing really well currently that's unexpected, and we settled it in the end on Charlton. Who's the dark horse to watch out for over the season? Who's going to be the late runners? Paul's got. I mean, I'll let you start, mate, because I think you've answered the question in your previous answer. Really, if Sheffield United are going to make the playoffs, do we class ourselves as a dark horse for promotion?
But based on the season so far, then definitely. But I think Bristol City, mate. I think most people had Bristol City as a side that were on the way down. We were thinking complete one-off. I don't remember anyone having them better than mid-table in the predictions. I think they are a dark horse to go up this season. I think finally they believe it. They were there last year. Yeah, the wheels fell off against us. I thought, we showed a lot of class in there, and there was a big moment, wasn't there, with the defender. And I just think they've got more experience, and they've kept a lot of their big players. Surprisingly, there's no one's come and got them, and I think that they'll benefit from that experience last year. And I think they could go one better and get promoted.
Nice one, well said, mate. Lee, who's your dark horse across the season? Who do you think we're going to watch out for?
Bristol City, I think they could push for the top 2. I mean, we saw them at the beginning of the season, and on the break they were fantastic. They've got a talented midfield. They've got a really talented midfield. Jason Knight, Max Bird, Joel Williams, Mehmeti, Twine, who was a fantastic player. That free kick was outstanding, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So and they've got the second highest goal difference in the league. They score goals. They're not conceding. So
Why?
I do fancy him to stick with it.
Just another thing there. I know we've been on for ages already. Why is no one coming for Twine? Why has no big clubs gone, here, take my money? He is an absolute technician. I have no idea.
Well,
Burnley
had him, didn't they?
Yeah.
When they went up, and obviously didn't quite hit the heights. And I wonder if that's why another team.
Neither did Eddie Howe, did they? Neither did Eddie Howe for them. So
is he a Norwood? Is he a Norwood?
He's certainly a free kick specialist. He's been known for that for years. So when he stepped up against us, I knew we were going 1-0 down anyway, and it's the worst possible start to a season. But I wonder how effective he is in open play. I don't know. That's maybe me being quite harsh, but I think just from the small sample sizes I've seen of him, he did very well at MK Dons. And like Jord says, he didn't really cut the mustard at Burnley, but not everybody's going to jump up to that level immediately. And it might be more of a slow burner. And yeah, Bristol City might have a real strong championship player on their hands, not just somebody who's a free kick specialist. So we'll have to keep an eye on him as well.
In open play, Jim, I saw him against Southampton. I saw highlights against Southampton, and he gets in on goal against keeper and he dinks him twice. So it's his ability as well to have that composure in front of goal, where I think he stands out in this division. 7
goal and assists involvements this season. I'm just looking to see whether he's on any of the other lists in terms of, and that is one of the most important, let's be right, goals and assists. But in terms of overall ratings, no, he's not there. So he's certainly in the conversation. Nobody's dismissing him as a good player, and he's certainly playing well this season. But anyway, back to the subject at hand. Who's the dark horse this year? I probably agree overall, but I'm going to go with, it's between two. It's between Preston, but I think they'll fall away, if I'm honest. I think Stoke have got more chance of hanging around at the top end for a longer period of time. I don't think they'll quite make the playoffs, but I think the dark horses for the playoffs, so a team to watch that I think might. Victor Johansson between the sticks is always somebody to look out for. They've also got Sorba Thomas, who started on fire for him. And look, an injury to him may well derail them a little bit in terms of their output. And Paul's rightly pointed out that they're squeaking out results rather than dominating at the moment. So I can see it could fall away, but it didn't for Sheffield United last season. We kept getting on the right side of those odd result games. So, I think Stoke are ones to watch across the season. Honourable mention to Preston. If I'm pushed, it's probably Bristol City as well. So I'm happy to go with that as the overall consensus. Jordy boy, what's your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I'd have gone Bristol City, but just to throw them in, just to throw someone else in, I'd have said Preston purely for Eki and Stuart McCall. They've been there, they've done it. Yeah, they probably had a better team at the disposal with us, but I think they've recruited well this season and got the players in to suit their style of play. Big target man in Michael Smith. Obviously, they've got Jebo. They've brought Dobbin in. But yeah, I just think, like you said, honourable mention for them. And they're showing that they've done it once in this division, and they can potentially do it again.
Okay, thank you, lads. Ahead of our final subject, let's just get some comments. Bryce says, "I think we'll get in there too, Paul." Love that. Lewis says, "Welcome to the 6 PB, Man Mountain." Couldn't be more proud. Even I don't have us in the top 6. Coventry, Borough, Ipswich, Bristol City, Charlton, and West Brom top 6 in that order. The first 3 go up. Charlton 5th. That is a huge call. West Brom as well. I don't see them coming out of nowhere at the moment. Interesting shout that, Lewis. So Cov, Borough, and Ipswich to go. Right, interesting. It'll be 14 PB at this rate. I don't know where all this positivity is coming from. We've all been spending too much time with Brett. Bristol City, maybe, guys. Living down here and having relatives that support them, I can tell you their classic thing is to run out of steam. As for Twine, great on his day, very hot and cold. I'd like to see it for the City, but I would worry about them running out of goals when it gets deep into the season. Their squad isn't big either, no depth. Dark horses are the Blades. Don't think we'll be far away by the end of it. Not beyond us. Need to hurry up, though. Don't tease me, Lewis. Don't tease me with stuff like that. Right. A bit of a... it's not a negative one, but it's more of a throwaway one, a bit of a fun one to sort of speculate on, because we know it's not going to be us this time, thankfully. Who will be the next manager to get the boot in the Championship? I think Jord's already given his suggestion. Jord, do you want to just firm that up for us, please, pal?
There's two managers for me. I think it's from two teams that are down there. But in fact, there's three. But so there's three I'd mention. It's Ishmael, Will Still, and Liam Manning. The next one to get the boot, I'm going Manning.
Okay, not Manning of Norwich. Does anybody think? I'm not suggesting he'll be next, but does anyone think Phil Parkinson's in trouble at Wrexham because of their high expectations?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
Lee, I know your answer as well. Do you want to give yours next manager to go?
Ruben Sayers at Rails Zaragoza. Sorry, in Championship.
He's a cheat answer. You can't use him.
To be honest, Lee, he's actually in two games, he's won one.
Oh, is it?
I think they did play in Cup and they played like a 4th or 5th division team, but he's done better than what he did at us.
Did he scrape past them? Anyway, Will Still, Southampton. I just think second highest wage bill, 20th in league, talented squad. There's rumours of unrest in squad. Fans are calling for his sacking. This thing. We were speaking. I'm going to drop it. We spoke to Letitia when we went to that game, and he was saying in each time. Well, I know. And, he said they see signs of improvement. He was really behind him. But it doesn't sound like the fans were. But they were decent against us, weren't they? A draw would have been a fair result. They were a decent team. They played well.
I think they've been patchy enough to just keep him eking out the extra chance over somebody like Manning, who is directly in the firing line at the minute for me. So I'd probably go in Manning as well at Norwich for all reasons Jord mentioned. I think it's valid. Paul, what were you saying, Paul?
I think it'll be Liam Manning by a neck before Still. To be honest, I think we've named the two of them. I think Manning, he might be gone by Sunday night.
Do you think Ishmael's safe?
No, but those two are definitely.
They're in front.
There's one with me off as well.
They lead the race, the sack race.
There's one with me off, and I've heard a lot of noise coming out because Gary O'Neill potentially. They've been talking to, and it's at Birmingham. It's Davis. There's talk that the Birmingham, they expected the board expected them to be higher, and obviously they gave them the tools and the money to be doing better. And I only saw it online, and there's talks that he could get sacked, and Gary O'Neill is the man that's been talked to.
Wow.
Well, to be fair, American owners are known for getting rid of managers pretty quick. In our case, not quick enough. But
6 games were like 5 too many, but I know what you mean.
Well, we were done after 3. I were done after 3, mate.
Yeah, me too.
But anyway,
okay.
I think it's the form that's the problem for him.
Yeah,
Southampton have lost 2 of the last 6, so it's not an obvious fire, and they've lost the last 2, so that puts them in jeopardy. But losing 5 on the bounce for Norwich in the Championship, that is Norwich.
You're teetering.
Norwich are a yo-yo team, mate. They're not anything like where they are at the minute. They've still got Sargent. I'm really struggling with Norwich. Really struggling. They need the bullet as much as for him, as much as we needed it for Sayers personally.
Lewis slightly disagrees. He says Will Still is definitely next. Lee agreed. They're punching well below where they should be. Great squad, manages out of his depth. Agree with Positive Mountain, though. Manning will run him close. Aldi says, newsflash, it's just been confirmed that Sheffield United will not be dropping into League One as they're going to start kicking ass after Derby beat them 2-1 this Saturday. Thank you, Aldi, for calling in. Much appreciated, mate. And we've got a comment from the man who's coming up next, actually. Jamie Dumpling says, Michael Carrick screams a Wrexham hire. Interesting. I thought Chris Wilder screamed of a Wrexham hire, to be honest, before we went in and got him.
That Dumpers.
Good shout from the Dumpling. And let's bring him in. It's the Platinum Ramblers representative, the one and only, Jamie Dumpling. How's it going, pal?
Evening, guys.
Good evening. How are you? Been waiting very patiently. I says to him, come in for about 1:30 because we should be done with our discussion. That's what I normally say. Be about half an hour, and then we'll bring you in. He's been sat for 45 minutes watching us in the background. But
yeah,
I don't mind. It's ad free, so I'm not complaining.
Nice, all right. Thanks, mate.
He's got a pizza coming, Jim. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I know. We'll lose him in 2 minutes, so we've got to get out of him what we can.
Sorry, pizzas.
I'll read it for you, Jamie. Will still be manager in 3 games. That train's never late. That train is never late. Okay, so it is time for the portion of the show where we look forward to and predict the next week's results. And we are in a league table. This is where I hand over to Lee, who is the adjudicator. I'm not quite sure whether the points are tallying up quite accurately, but what's the current state of play, mate?
Current leaderboard is, so Jamie, you've got a bit on Jan today. So the Ramblers and myself are top with 10 after 3 weeks. Paul is in second with 9, so right on his tails. Jordan, you're next with 7, and then right at the bottom in the place where Sheffield Wednesday are in the league is Jim with 6 points.
Where are you, Lee?
Hold on, Jim. Top, mate. It's my spreadsheet.
Yeah, that's what I'm dubious about.
Football genius.
That's ball, Lee. Nice, man.
Top of the league, baby.
Do you still want to bring forfeits in at any point?
No. Shush, Jamie. Shush.
Yeah. I'm gonna, Jay.
Okay.
We'll put it to the Ramblers.
No, we won't. No, because it's a witch hunt then. Right. So, what are I've forgotten the games. So, I haven't. I've got them here. So, Jord, what was your game, pal?
Stoke and Bristol City.
Stoke versus Bristol City. That is 5th against 4th in the Championship. 2 teams that we've all been laxing Wirical about. We've all been laxing Wirical about them, and that could be quite messy. We've been waxing lyrical about both teams going really well, and this is the game that Jord's picked for us to predict. So, Jord, what are you going for your Stoke versus Bristol City, pal?
I've got 1-0 Bristol City.
Why do you think that'll happen? Out of interest.
Well, I've had a look at league table. I've had a look at home form and away form, goals scored, and I just think Bristol City will nick it.
Okay. You know Stoke have got Victor Johansson in goal, don't you?
Yep. But I still think he'll concede.
Just checking. I'm going to Jamie Dumpling next because I think he's going to change predictions based on what other people say. So you're going to be first up for everything. Saw you scribbling there. Saw you scribbling. No, you've been caught out there. You've been caught out, young man. So come on, mate. What are you saying next for Stoke and Bristol City?
I've gone 2-1 Bristol City. I think it'll be tight as all.
Can I ask, have you referred to the Ramblers on this one? Or are you making decisions on behalf of them?
No, it were a bit late, I'll be honest. So...
Did you get nominated yesterday as well?
Yeah, he got nominated yesterday.
I thought you had more time than that.
He's the boss. He's taking control. What he says goes. That's it. They can like it all and pick out the Jamie. So if they're all screaming now, saying, "Why is he saying 2-1 Bristol City?" Then you've got to hold that. You've got to hold that responsibility.
And if Ramblers go from top to bottom by next weekend, it is mainly your fault.
And no one wants to.
If I ask the Ramblers, you're seeing what score predictions are going. So there's that.
To say as well, it's not because I'm joint top with him, but I didn't send him games till 7:30. So
I didn't want to throw you under the bus.
No, this was tactical, Jamie. It was tactical.
Let's see if the tactics work. Then Lee, what are you going for? What are you going for?
I'm doing one of yours, Jim, and I'm going to sit on the bench and having 1-1.
Well, I'm going to go to Paul next, but I've also gone 1-1 for this game.
Oh my! So it's a sweet.
Right. Nice.
One apiece.
So knowledgeable ones go for 1 apiece. Right?
How can you class yourself as knowledgeable? Sat at bottom like Wendy's.
Wait, look. Have you ever heard of rope-a-dope? Have you ever heard of that?
I don't need to.
Heard of dope?
I've heard it dope. Walked into that one, didn't I? Right.
Heard of soap on a rope. Yeah.
59 watching on YouTube. There's actually 260 people here, Bri, because they're watching on different platforms. So thank you to everybody that's joined us. 26 likes, not good enough. Can we hit the like button? If you're not already and you enjoy the show, please subscribe to Ramble FC. There'll be a bit more of this to come. So next up, Jamie Dumpling. What was the game that you went for, pal?
So I thought, let's potentially spice up the league a bit with predictions. I've gone Chelmsford versus Braintree.
Why?
This is obvious.
Funny. It's that in-between us giving it.
Can you name the division that they're in, Jay?
National League and National League South.
Oh, he's done his homework.
Right.
He's done his homework. Okay,
I
Jamie,
looked for the teams that had the most obscure names in FA Cup this week, and I thought, Braintree, good in.
go on then, mate. What's your score prediction?
I've gone Chelmsford 3-2. They seem to score about 20 goals each time they play each other.
Chelmsford in the league below them. You're saying
Well,
beating
Braintree
3-2.
they seem to be struggling, so I'm
They're
thinking
down at bottom at
their
league.
priorities won't be on the FA Cup.
Okay.
And Chelmsford may go, yeah, let's have a go.
Or they might have a small squad because they're lower down pecking order, and they might think this is an ideal game to turn it around and
They
keep our
may.
strongest team.
That's why I picked this game, because it's potentially more out there predictions.
Okay, yeah, I love that, Jamie. I love that. It is very random, and I don't mind that at all. I'm going with a 2-1 Braintree away win. We'll go Paul next, mate.
Chelmsford to win 2-0.
Okay. Mr. Edridge,
I'm going for a Braintree 2-1 win.
same as me, bald and brilliant. Well, I'm not bald, but you know.
You'll not be far off.
Well, you'll be happy. If I carry on at top, you'll be happy because you'll be getting some points this week, won't you?
Yeah, I
If you
will.
do all
Yeah,
right.
I will. I'll be.
That's
You-
Jimmy's new tactic. Copy Lee. That's
Excuse me. I said mine first. Jord, what are you going for, pal?
I've gone 2-1 Chelmsford.
Oh, no
Proper
splinters
split,
for that
yes.
one. No splinters. Love that. Okay, Lee, what's your game, pal?
It's Stevenage v Chesterfield in the FA Cup.
Okay, and what are you saying for that, mate?
3-0 Stevenage.
What a shock! What a shock! So Stevenage, who are 4th in League One against Chesney, who are 7th in League Two. Jamie Dumpling.
Yep.
You next before you get a chance to change your answer.
4-1 Chesterfield. 4-1 Stevenage.
No, you
4-1
said
Your
Chesterfield.
first answer, I'm
Oh,
afraid.
I took your first answer.
It's like, is it the weakest
say
link
final
or
answer.
a millionaire or something?
Final
No.
answer, Stevenage 4-1.
Lock it in.
Locking it in.
No.
Is this, by the way, after 90 minutes? That's when the score stops. Or
Result, Jamie. It's result. The result on
These
Saturday.
could go penalties. Is all I'm saying.
Result. Well, the result still is what it finishes at the end of the game.
Still a draw. If
You
you
know-
go
you know-
penalties, it's
Yeah,
still
it's
a
not
draw.
gonna be
1-1, but then
11-10.
win 4-3 on penalties. So,
So it's
All right,
1-1.
all right,
So the
yeah,
result's
yeah.
1-1.
4-1 to Chesterfield, I think Jamie Dumpling said. So, Johnny boy, what are you saying, pal?
I've gone 2-1 Stevenage.
2-1 Stevenage. Paolo,
2-0 Stevenage.
I've gone 3-1 Stevenage. So, only Jamie there going for Chesney. I'll go next if you want, rather than just do the predictable thing. I've gone for Wrexham against Coventry on Friday night, tomorrow night. And I've gone with a 2-1 Coventry win up the Sky Blues. Jamie Dumpling.
Can I just say, by the way, I was looking for this game for ages ago. I got told Saturdays only. I spent a good 10 minutes thinking, where is this game? Have I gone blind?
You got told Saturdays only.
Goodbye.
Anyways, I've gone 3-1 Coventry.
Lee's bald and brilliant. I'm not having that Lee's let us down here with this.
I didn't say that. I said if you could try and keep it Saturdays only.
Oh, well.
Oh, so it was you, Lee. To be
Throw him
fair.
under the bus.
So what you've got
Alright.
3-1 Cov, have you said, Jay?
3-1 Coventry.
Love
Final
that.
answer.
Love that. Okay. Mr. Mountain, housewife
Same as
favourite?
Jamie. I'm going to agree with him. 3-1 to Cov.
Great minds think alike.
That's it, mate.
Man on the mic.
Great minds do think alike. 3-1 Coventry.
Oh, my word. Bald and brilliant. That's our Lee.
3-0 Coventry.
3-0 Coventry.
2.
2-0.
No.
Winston Churchill.
Wowzers. So we all think Wrexham are getting beat on Friday night. It's lovely
Yeah.
to hear.
Yeah.
Paul, the fifth and final fixture of the weekend for us to predict, pal.
Proper game, this. Spurs at home to Chelsea.
It's a proper game. Proper game. What have you gone for, mate?
2-1 to Spurs.
Nice. I've gone 1-0 Spurs in this one. Jamie Dumpling.
I've gone 2-2.
Ooh, Desmond. Nice. Jord, I'll come to you next, mate.
Splinters, 1-1.
Interesting. Baldwin, brilliant.
2-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea. We've got a right spread there, then, haven't we?
Yeah.
That's really 2 draws, 1 Chelsea, 2 Spurs. Like that. All different results as well. That's what we want.
That's what you get when you pick an interesting game, isn't it? You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah.
Instead of 3-1, 3-1, 3-1. Like I did.
Instead of Wrexham Coventry when no one had anything but a Cov win.
Oh, no. Sorry. I need some points, mate. How still would Will Still stand if Will Still could stand still, says Lewis. Don't do that to me, please. Yeah, we saw that, Bri. All wrong. Coventry 6-0, says Aldi. Yeah, I'll take that. They're banging in the goals. Yeah, we'll take it all day long. I think we're done, lads. I think that's it. Jamie Dumpling, thank you for coming on for your debut on Football Therapy. Thank you for waiting so patiently to get 10 minutes on screen. You waited 45 for 10 minutes, but everybody knows and loves you on the channel, pal. It's you're a familiar face around here. Some may say an intro might be on the horizon. I'm not promising anything. Because I don't necessarily agree. But, you know.
Just give him Takeshi's Castle music. Dumplings.
Why? Why?
Because
I don't even think I was alive when that came out.
Oh,
Say again?
It
wasn't alive when that came out. So
No, I don't think you probably weren't.
no,
I think Chaz and Dave is better for him.
It's
I've never even heard of that. So there we are.
Never even heard of that.
Do you know Takeshi's Castle has been redubbed by Jonathan Ross now? We put it on the other day because I'm like, oh, girls, you've got to watch this. No Craig Charles. It's Jonathan Ross, and it's
It's
no
got a
good.
bit original.
It was
That's
Greg.
wrong.
What was it? It was the
Craig
big.
Charles.
Nah, there was 2 of them doing it.
Greg Taskmaster.
No, the bald fella with the big bald fella who's in.
Big Tony.
I can't remember his name is.
Boldly.
Bald Lee.
It might have been Bowley. No, there was 2 of them doing it at one point. But I think they've changed it again.
Okay, right. We'll call it there then, lads, on Takeshi's Castle. No better place to end it. Anything else you want to add before we go, boys and girls?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I know obviously it's a bit bringing it down, but just obviously I had a bit of sad news on Sunday with my grandma passing. And I've had loads of messages from all Ramblers and everyone else. I just want to say thanks, to everyone for your well wishes and your thoughts. It's massively appreciated.
What a guy.
Yeah, no better place to end it. Jord, thank you for that, mate. But obviously, we're all here for you, all thinking about you and the family.
Thank you.
And you know where we are if you need us for anything. Thank you to everybody for watching tonight. Really enjoy these shows. I think Lee had proposed that rather than it be a rotating 2, which it still may be at times, it just be a case of whoever's available, jump on. And it could be up to 4 of us at any time. So, yeah, really good. Any ideas for any streams that anybody's got that they want us to cover? We've got loads of ideas ourselves, but we're always happy to cover any topics that you think might be interesting. But for now, we'll catch you in a bit. Dumpling, up there.
Ramble FC.
Hey.